What is love? Do, 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 do. What is love? Do, do, do. What is love? 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 Hi, I'm Marlon Lilly. Welcome to the Love Show, where we grapple with the question, what is love? Today's show asks, is nature love? Merriam-Webster defines nature as the inherent character or basic constitution of a person or thing. Essence, in all caps. Essence. It's interesting to use the word essence for nature. Webster goes on to define nature as disposition, temperament, both also in all caps, a creative and controlling force in the universe. Creative. In our show, Is Art Love? We proved that art was in fact love, and it's interesting they use creative. And they go on to say, an inner force such as instinct, appetite, desire, or love. Or, no, I added love. An inner force such as instinct, appetite, or desire, or some of such forces in an individual. Yeah, I think it could be love. Love is an inner force, such as instinct, appetite, or desire. So I don't think that rules out love. But they go on to say a kind or class usually distinguished by fundamental or essential characteristics, the physical constitution or drives of an organism, a spontaneous attitude, the external world in its entirety, humankind's original or natural condition, a simplified mode of life resembling this condition. That doesn't seem natural at all. A simplified mode of life resembling this condition seems very unnatural. But they go on to define it as the genetically controlled qualities of an organism and natural scenery. So, essence, in all caps. And an inner force, or some of such forces in an individual. I think that allows nature into the definition, or allows love into the definition of nature. We are so full of ourselves as humans that when I Googled, do plants love, I got back results of all kinds of experiments on how plants respond to our love or our lack of love. And they do respond to our love and our lack of love, but I didn't find anything at all on the plant's point of view on how plants love, but I did find that plants do seem to be affected by our love for them, and when we take that love away, they are affected. They tend to die, and we found that lack of love is a problem for babies. The babies don't grow properly without love. In our episode Necessity, we found that human beings, in fact, do need love, that love is a necessity, and they do not grow properly without love. And scientists in France proved that rice is more evolved than humans. That is to say, that its DNA is more evolved. The more evolved we become, the more we love. So maybe rice loves. But nonetheless, I found no experiments in my research that even looked into the plant's point of view. Humans really have this tunnel vision that is caused by our own hubris. We have a hard time seeing anyone else's point of view. It's kind of sad. So it's being discovered by people studying ancient Kemet, which is what Egypt was before the Greeks called it Egypt. And before it was called Kemet, it was just called Kem. In ancient Kemet, or Kem, they spoke Medu Neter. That's M-E-D-U, capital N-T-R. But this was a language of hieroglyphs, but it was mainly a vocal thing. It was spoken. Medu Neter means divine words of nature, or mother's words. Med is where we get medicine, and Medusa, and Medu is where we get med. And Medu is, and med in many circumstances represents mothers. So I theorize Medu is where mother comes from. And I translate Medu Neter as mother's nature. And I know that I'm disagreeing with most scholars here, but I'll tell you why. Medu predates Medusa. Medu and Medusa predate medicine. This language of ancient Kemet predates English, Greek, and Latin. Excuse me. So Kemet came first. Well, Kem came first. Medu Neter came first. And I believe that it was a sung language, actually. I don't know if it was even spoken. I believe it was made of frequencies. It was more do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do than it was A, B, C, D, E, F, G. They had 5 pers in the language. Per a, per ka, per ba, per netter, and per weir. Now some people write netter with a capital N-T-R, but some people write out netter, N-E-T-E-R, which is more of a pronunciation. But the letters N-T-R were originally hieroglyphs. not letters. I don't read hieroglyphs, but I do know that there is a whole new school of thought that thinks that the Greeks and other Egyptologists misinterpreted the hieroglyphs. So, Netter, NTR, is where we get the word nature and where we get the word nurture. Nurture means to love. If they both came from the same word, maybe they both mean to love. In our Mother Earth episode, we proved Mother Earth is love. Tight squeeze behind the organ here today. So, Mother Earth is nature, for sure, right? So therefore, isn't nature love? The folks at the Pachamama Alliance shared a quote on love and nature. And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. Anais Nin. They go on to say, you begin to discover you too are a flower. You feel locked up for an instant, but a spark hits you, tickling your insides, or tickling your senses. Maybe it's the outstretched arm of your love. Maybe it's the thankful look in your child's eyes. Maybe it's the feeling of satisfaction you feel when you feel you have done your part to help the world. Maybe it's the creation of a fresh piece of art. Either way, it is love. They go on to say, you know, love is all around you. It is fleeting yet immortal. Like all things, like the earth itself, love must be nourished within us all, down every winding path, down every lush shaded thicket. So that was from a blog, 8 quotes that will make you think of nature's beauty. So Netter, let's get back to Netter. Apparently Per Netter has an exoteric definition, which is house of gods and goddesses. And it has an esoteric definition, which is much bigger. In the esoteric, Per Netter can be defined as an aspect or principle of the divine. But it can also be part of the whole of divinity. It can be defined as fire in the middle, or chi, house of energy, house of nature, house of mother's words. So maybe it was like a school. There are 5 pers in Kemetic. Per-ah, per-ka, per-ba, per-netter, and per-weir. Akaba Netter Weir. Do re mi fa sol la ti do. That's so different. I think they are frequencies, or a frequency, in that Netter is the frequency for nature. We postulated this in our episode, Does Love Have a Frequency? We found love did have a frequency, and that we thought that nature's frequency is 432 megahertz. Birds sing in 432 megahertz. Earth's frequency is 432 megahertz. I think nature's frequency is 432 megahertz. And I think that's also love. And I think that the purrs, per ka, per ba, per netter, per weir, I think they're ancient scales for singing. And I think netter is nature, and love, and 432 megahertz. But alas, with every love show, it's just my opinion. But in my opinion, nature is love. I would have to say. Love is nature. Love is natural. Love is 432 megahertz. Perhaps that is why we say Mother Nature. It throws the love in. Like a mother's love is nature. Nature, nurture, mother, nature. What is love? It is nature. Get out there in nature and love. I love you. Thanks for watching. What is love? What is love? What is love?